Hello, everybody. Jason with Learns 5. Hope you guys are doing well, staying safe, taking care of yourself, but more importantly, taking care of one another. So, if you've watched all my videos and listened to me talk about different things, you know I'm an instructor, a certified instructor for LFI and NRA. I do have classes at a semi-local gun shop who has both an indoor and outdoor shooting range. This weekend, we had classes for more advanced techniques for self-defense shooting and self-defense tactics. Well, we had a accidental discharge and a neglectful discharge. And the reason this happened is modifications made to the gun and poor trigger control. So I never thought I'd have to do this video, but here I am doing this video. So please listen and take to heart what I say. 20, 30, even 50 years ago, trigger jobs were done by a gunsmith, and they didn't lighten up the triggers normally. If they did, it was only by a half pound, maybe a pound on a trigger that had an 8-pound trigger pull. But their main goal with a trigger job was just to smooth it out a bit, make that trigger not as gritty, and just to make that travel a little more smoother. Over the years, stuff like competition triggers came out. Now, unless you were in the industry, a gunsmith or a competition shooter, you really didn't know about them. But over the last several years, because of magazines and YouTube and everything else, companies started making these drop-in triggers for striker fire guns that have really changed the pull and the safety of the firearm. I do not own a striker-fired pistol, so my buddy Timmy is here. He was gracious enough to bring one of his over for me to use in this video. So if I keep looking off over there, it's a little bit odd having somebody here with me when I'm doing this video. This is the Smith & Wesson 9mm 2.0. It is unloaded, as you can see, verified unloaded. I do not have a magazine. I do not have ammo anywhere near me. So this gun is totally cleared and safe. It has been not only checked over by me, but Timmy, and it's been checked by each one of us 3 times, and the 4th time now with you guys. So, the trigger on this, and I do have diagrams and some markings on a piece of paper here. I'll try and show you and explain this a little bit better. But I'm going to show you. Most striker-fired pistols do not have a manual safety on them like a single-action pistol. Now, I grew up shooting in 1911, so I'm very used to shooting a certain type of trigger. That's what I learned on. That's what I was at competition with. It's what I put thousands upon thousands of rounds through in my lifetime. So the first time I tried a striker-fired pistol was a Glock. I didn't care for it, so I tended to avoid them. Now we'll talk about this one a little bit more at another point because I am liking this one, but that is not the point of this video. So with these kind of triggers and striker fires not having a manual safety, your trigger is your safety. This does not have the dingus like the Glock. This one has a hinged trigger. So you can see there's a little thing up here like the Glock, but instead of having the dingus that disengages it, it's that. So you got to disengage that, then you got a 10th, and that gives you that first 1/10 of an inch of travel. Okay, so after that, you're going to start feeling some grittiness. That grittiness is there for a purpose. That's to give you a tactile feedback that everything inside is engaging. So you got that, then you got that travel. Oh, right there. I felt it stopped. I heard a little click. That is your wall. Okay, at this point, the gun is very dangerous. You've got that trigger pulled back. You're at that wall. You're just a 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds away from discharging the gun. So you squeeze past that point. You squeeze through that little bit of heaviness. and bam. So you got that spongy trigger pull. That is your main safety. So gun cycles, you let off the trigger a bit, it resets. You've got a totally different trigger pull than before. You got about a half pound and no travel, and you discharged again. So let's take a look at the diagram, and maybe I can explain this a little bit better and give you an idea of what kind of trouble that you can get into and why you shouldn't change out for these competition triggers. So this is basically your standard A, is your standard striker fired pistol trigger pull with the travel, the spongy travel that everybody hates. So right here is you're just putting your finger on the trigger. Okay, this is your 1/10 of an inch travel right here. And then you're going to start your travel till you hit your wall. You know, once you hit your wall, and that's usually around 2.5 pounds of trigger pull, it's going to shoot up to about 5, anywhere from 4 to 5.5 pounds, usually about 5.25 pounds to get through that wall. And then you discharge, and then you're reset. Okay, compared to a single action like a Colt 1911 style pistol, is more flat. There's hardly no travel. You're right at that wall, and it's, you know, a couple pounds. You're off, and then your reset, your break, your reset, and all that is right in this area very quick. So putting these lighter competition triggers that people are putting into guns like this now are taking that trigger and it's bringing them back and it's setting them right there. It's set right there. It's set right on that wall. Okay? There's no travel. There's nothing. There's just a couple pounds of pressure and this gun will discharge. The problem with that for a concealed carry or personal protection piece is you're not John fucking Wick. You're not taking on the Russian mob and, you know, blowing 1,000 rounds in a matter of a half hour, taking out the entire Russian mob. Keanu Reeves took a lot of training to do that. That was a cross between tactical training and showman shooting. That is for competition. That is for speed and accuracy. The short, light pulls are going to aid in accuracy with speed shooting. Not a good idea for a personal defense pistol. So you got that trigger in like that. You come up, you know, something happens, you draw, you're presenting, your adrenaline's flowing. You're right there. And what happens is people get, what's the word? I'm not going to say scared, but their adrenaline gets flowing and they get a really, really tight grip on that gun. And when you're doing that, you're pulling that gun back as you're pushing forward, trying to keep it on, and you're just, boom. You've either shot somebody that just drawing your firearm defused the situation so you would not be justified into fully squeezing that trigger. Maybe you shot yourself while presenting, or you shot somebody innocent. That's why the companies, when they build these guns, build in that element of safety where this trigger has to be purposely pulled before you get to that point and that discharge. With that being said, whether you're buying your first gun or you're an experienced shooter, do not change out to these competition triggers and these lightweight triggers like Monarch. I don't want to see good people injuring themselves or good people going to prison because of a bad modification made to their personal defense gun that shouldn't be on it in the first place. With that being said, take care of yourself and take care of one another, and I will talk to you guys real soon.